Hello everyone, I hope you're doing super well. On my side, I'm feeling quite sick today. I've been sick the past couple of days. I've got a stuffed up nose and my throat kind of hurts. But I'm really excited to share with you a new video today. It's a week of Asian dinners. Just a couple of notes before we get into the video. Damien, my boyfriend, he's been off in Sweden for the past 3 to 4 weeks. For work, and during this period I have my friend Hog who's staying with me, so we've mostly been just making dinner for the both of us. But Damien came back to Paris on Friday for the weekend, so that's been really nice to spend some time together. So I think that's all I need to say. Oh, and as I've said, I've been sick the past couple of days, so I might have skipped a few dinners here and there. But yeah, I guess that's all I really need to say for now, so let's get into the video. Enjoy! To start this off, we have the classic kimchi tofu stew. You already know I love this dish so much and I just had to include it in the video. To start, I just heated up a pot on the stove and I added in some sesame oil. And when the pot was starting to get quite hot, I added in quite a few spoonfuls of kimchi. I think I added about 4. And I just let it cook in the pot for a little bit to really let all the aromatics come out. And when everything was starting to smell really nice, I added in some hot water into the pot. And then I added in some gochujang paste, as well as a bit more sesame oil, some soy sauce, and a bit of sugar. And I just gave everything a good mix. And then I added in some more kimchi juice to really have the kimchi flavor in the stew. And then I just let everything come to a boil before turning the heat down a bit, so that the stew can continue to simmer. And after some time, I added in some mushrooms, some silk tofu that's been cut up into bite-sized pieces, and I just mix them in gently. And you're just gonna want to let that cook for a little bit more so that everything can get really nice and hot. And for our meal, we had some bowls of rice, and I also made some rolled Korean egg omelette on the side. And then of course we had our delicious kimchi tofu stew, which was really the star of the meal. On Tuesday, we decided to make a tofu broccoli stir fry. So Hong already got started on that when I came home from work. So she was just frying up some tofu, and then of course we cut up some broccoli into smaller pieces. And for the sauce, I just mixed together some mushroom sauce, some sesame oil, and some soy sauce. Give that a good mix. And when the sauce is done, you just set it aside for a little bit, and we're gonna get to cooking the broccoli. So we added the broccoli to a pan, and then I added in some water to steam the broccoli a little bit. And when the broccoli is getting soft enough to pierce a fork through it, you're gonna want to throw in your tofu that's already been fried and mix in the sauce that we prepared earlier and give that all a good mix. To serve, we just had it together with some white rice. And here it is, a really simple broccoli tofu stir fry that's packed with flavor and just so delicious. On Wednesday, I was home a bit later after having drinks with some colleagues at work, and Hong was also out with friends, so I wanted to make something really quick and simple for dinner, so I decided to make takoyaki. And to do that, in a bowl I mixed together some flour, some baking powder, some salt, some soy sauce, an egg, and some water, and I gave everything a good whisk. And it's supposed to be a bit runny. And then also I started to prepare all the ingredients to put in the takoyaki. So I went for a more vegetarian option, so I had some pickled Japanese red ginger that I cut into small pieces. I also had some corn, which was going to be the main ingredient in the takoyaki, and I also had some fried tempura bits. I just like to have everything prepared so that when I'm making the takoyaki, everything is ready to go and I won't get too flustered. So to make the takoyaki, I use this takoyaki pan. It's what's going to give the balls its shape. So I heated the pan on the stove and I added quite a generous bit of oil, and I just made sure that all the surface was covered with oil. And then I just poured my batter in. And then I added in my ingredients. So I went first with the corn, and then the pickled red ginger, and then the tempura bits. And then after, here comes the tricky but also fun part. You're just gonna want to take 2 sticks. I just used some skewers, and you're just gonna flip the balls around when they're half cooked, and the leftover liquid batter that's not yet been cooked at the top, it's going to drip to the bottom and it's going to give it its round shape. So yes, you're just gonna go around turning all the balls. It might get a bit messy and everything, but don't worry about it. What's most important is that it tastes good. And to serve the takoyaki, I just put everything into a small dish and I topped it with some takoyaki sauce, some Kewpie mayo, and some Japanese sea lettuce powder. And that was dinner. I skipped dinner on Thursday, so this brings us to Friday, which was the day that Damin came back, and he requested to have a pad thai, so that's what I made for dinner. To get things started, I just cut up a block of tofu into little cubes, which I then fried on a pan with some oil. And while that was going, I started to mix the sauce. In a bowl, I mixed together some sugar, some tamarind paste, some fish sauce, some oyster sauce, and then I gave it a good whisk and set it aside. And when the tofu was done and it was looking golden on all sides, I took it out of the pan into a little dish. And in the same pan, I added in a bit more oil and I scrambled 3 eggs. And then took it off the heat. And then in the same pan, I added in some minced garlic and I fried it until it was quite fragrant before adding in my rice noodles that had been soaking in boiling water until it was quite soft. I then tossed in the egg that we had cooked earlier, some bean sprouts, the sauce that we prepared earlier, as well as some of the tofu, and I gave everything a good mix. And then I just let everything cook on the pan until the sauce was absorbed into all the ingredients. And then it was time to serve. I topped ours with some peanuts. Normally I would also put in some green onions, but we were out of those. So this was a simple pad thai that we enjoyed very much. Look who's joining me for dinner today! Hi, love.
Yeah.
We're having pad thai. What up?
It's a secret costume that he told everyone about except for me.
Getting a lot of mileage out of this.
Yeah, we'll get used to it, bud.
I skipped dinner again on Saturday because I had a really filling lunch with some friends. So for lunch/dinner on Sunday, I decided to make some mushroom congee because I was just craving for a warm, hearty meal. So I soaked some dehydrated shiitake mushrooms in some hot water, and then I drained it and I cooked it in a pot together with some oyster sauce and some soy sauce, and I kind of sauteed it together for a little bit before I added in some rice that I had washed, as well as some water so that the rice can cook and it can become a congee. It was really simple. I just stirred everything together and I let it cook on the stove for quite a little bit until the rice was ready. And to serve, I just topped it with some green onions as well as some sesame seeds. And I served it together with some pickled radish. And that was our very simple lunch/dinner on Sunday. And that will be a wrap for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!